Hey, everybody, it's Greg again. It's another edition of Unbreakable, the podcast. It is Wednesday, September the 25th. And oh, God, what a day today, huh? A lot to talk about. All right, but before we do, here you go. The Bud Light himself, the patron saint of this fine podcast. Now, there he is. I think I showed you this one before. Now, it's not my grandmother from the old country. It is Bud Light. That's him wearing well, it's a scarf, but we call it a babushka. Babush. There he is. Look at him. Look at his teeth, huh? I work for food. I work for food. I clean your house. I work for food. There he is. Blood on himself. All right. So this morning, I went to the DMV. I was telling you I was going to go to the DMV to get my ID, my new ID picture taken. And I didn't remember this. The last ID picture I had was from 2016 because, I was due for a new picture in 2020. Well, you couldn't go anywhere because we had the pandemic. It's funny how a lot of people forget about the pandemic. I guess a lot of people, we want to forget. You don't want to remember how awful it was with all these people in the hospital sick and these cardboard people in the stands at the Phillies games. And it was just awful. You couldn't go anywhere. And so I forgot. So I'm looking at my old ID this morning and I'm thinking, like I usually do, and what a good looking guy. He's a handsome man. I should be in movies. And I had this dark hair, right? And then I looked at my new picture and it's this gray guy. I'm like, what the hell? Somebody's impostoring me. What the hell? It's not me. And I forgot. I said, wait a minute. Did I get that old in 4 years? No, 8 years. Because I wasn't there in 2020. They automatically took your old picture because of the pandemic. They took your old picture and put it on your new card. And that's the way they did it. So I went to the DMV and I thought it was going to be, you know how before you go to the dentist or you go to the doctor and you think it's going to hurt and you get yourself all worked up and all upset and all anxious and like, oh, it's going to be awful. It's going to be awful. And I thought, going to the DMV, you hear all kinds of stories about people being slow, very slow, And it wasn't like that at all. The DMV people were very nice and very quick, and they knew what they were doing. And it's like, I'm the sloth. I'm the sloth. I'm in there, and I'm at the counter, and the lady's saying to me, what can I do for you today, sir? And I'm like, more food. And she's like, okay, all right, well, I'll stand, go over there, wait, da, 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 da. So we're there waiting. And this nice security guard. This is a true story. Nice security guard. Right, you wouldn't want to mess with him. This guy had muscles on top of muscles. A mountain of a man, as they said. And he said, come over to me. And I thought, he's going to arrest me for something. We're looking too good. And, he comes over to me and he says, I'm going to let you go next. Frankie. And I said, really? Thank you, sir. I made sure I called him sir so he didn't hit me, beat me up. And he said, yeah, I'm only doing this. And I swear to God, this is a true story. Let me hold my right hand. He said, I'm only doing this because you have a great smile and you're a good looking guy. Honest to God, I don't know what this guy was smoking. I mean, look at me. Do I look? Do I look like a good looking guy? I don't think so. Anyway, so he He actually told me that. And you know what I said back to him? I didn't just say, well, thanks a lot. Everybody says that. I said, well, thanks a lot. When I win the Oscar next year, I don't know why I said it. When I win the Oscar next year, I'll remember you. And he starts this, these security guards are usually very stern and very like blank face, they all very serious. But he just broke out into this big smile and he offered his hand to me. And I shook his hand. And my little hand was like little in his big, big hand. Just like the time when I shook the hand of Concrete Charlie, Chuck McNair, the old Eagle guy. And we shook hands and that was it. But yeah. So I don't know if he was full of shit or what. But he said, hey, you're a good looking guy. I'm gonna let you go. I think to me, I think it was the little child. Well, I may be wrong. I think it's the little child. So anyway, I went through and they took the photo, they actually took two. Because the first photo, I'm like, I didn't know when she was going to say. She said, now look at the blue light, little boy, look at the blue light. And she stopped the picture, but I wasn't ready. So I was looking like off to the side or something, to get somebody the side eye. When you give somebody the side eye like that. So I wasn't ready. So I didn't come out too quick. And I didn't want that picture being on my ID for the next 4 freaking years. So I said, let's try to think about it. Yeah, we could be here all day. So she took the picture and it was okay. It's okay. What's the old saying? Sometimes you gotta make a lemonade out of lemons or something. Took the picture, signed my name, got it, brought it home. And so that's what I looked at the difference between the old ID, which is actually a picture that's 8 years old, and the brand new one from this morning. And I said, have I aged that much in 8 years? And I said, yes. That was it. So it wasn't a bad thing. Like I said, if anybody was the sloth, it was me. I was the sloth. Like usual. So guess what? Guess whose birthday it is today, huh? 80 years old today. No, not me. Michael Douglas. Yes, Michael Douglas. Kirk Douglas's son. Remember Kirk Douglas? He had to steal a jaw. I like a fish on. What do you want for dinner tonight, Kirk? Oh, no, some pork chops. Hey, some stew. Yeah. Anyway, so Michael Douglas. Here's not Mike Douglas. That's a different person. Mike Douglas was the talk show host who I went to see that time with my mom and Uncle Henry and Sue. They all loved Mike Douglas. They thought he was a superstar of superstars. And that's the time I got to meet John Ritter. I told you about that. I'm not going to go into that again. Michael Douglas is a different guy. And I remember him from the streets of San Francisco. Remember the streets of San Francisco? And he would be running around in San Francisco, young guy. And he was the assistant, Carl Malden. Remember Carl Malden? He used to do all those commercials. Don't leave home without it. Well, American Express. Don't leave home without it. That's the guy with the nose. But, Carl Malden was great. He was in a lot of real good pictures. And he was real good. So Carl Malden, Streets of San Francisco, Michael Douglas, that's where I first encountered him. And then he started doing movies. Oh my God. Remember Wall Street? He did Romancing the Stone. But probably my favorite Michael Douglas movie, and the one that scared the hell out of me, was Fatal Attraction. Remember that with Glenn Close? Can't believe Glenn Close, very pretty lady. She did this beautiful role in The Natural. Remember with Robert Redford? And she played this really beautiful girl who ended up marrying Robert Redford. I don't want to give the ending away in case you didn't say it. And she was like an angel. She glowed. Fatal Attraction, she was like a total. I mean, she's genius. That was the one where you put the rabbit in the pot. I like talking. And I'll tell you, guys, you ever think cheap all the way to this? All you got to do is watch Fatal Attraction with Michael Douglas and Glenn. Tell you what, all those thoughts about cheating, just going about it. I must have been messing up. What a movie now. Anyway, I think that was that's the peak Michael Douglas. And then don't forget, Michael Douglas married Catherine Zeta-Jones. It sounds like a cancer. I'll have a little Catherine Zeta-Jones on the side, please, along with a little Mary Robinson at the same time. Anyway, so yeah, and I think they're still married. Yeah, so I think that's why Douglas is still young. Well, he is 80 years old. How old is she? Well, I think Alexa, how old is Catherine Zeta-Jones? 65. Wow, she's 15 years younger than you. Well, age doesn't matter. Unless you're like Charlie Chaplin, eating and your wife is too. I don't know. But, 15 years. I think for those that much. But, she's still young. Chick. Catherine's 82. And, yeah, you're still a couple. Don't give it to me. So happy birthday, Michael Douglas. If you want that. I know you're watching it. I know you, right? So happy birthday. All right, here, we gotta talk. Before I talk, oh, God, I gotta tell you what happened to you. Well, first of all, the Phillies lost last night. As expected. Remember yesterday on the show, I said I think the Phillies are going to lose. Why? Because they were drinking before. They were celebrating. That is nothing. That they were celebrating, and because they won the National League East for the first time in 13 freaking years. So they were celebrating. And I said yesterday on the show, I think the boys are going to be a little lethargic too, like slobs. Oh, get the ball. Throw me the ball. And anyway, and they won because they lost, what was it, 10-4 to the Cubbies last night. I think the Phillies are going to bounce back today and win behind Christopher Sanchez. And they need to because they only have 4 games left of the season. And their magic number to clinch a first round bye in the playoffs is 2. Any combination of Phillies wins and Milwaukee Brewers losses, adding up to 2, will give the Phillies a first round bye, which is important. I'd rather play the games at home. I'd rather have the time off. People are saying sore losers like the Mets and the Braves. They're not good enough to make it through the playoffs, so they bitch. They're like, oh, the time off hurts. Oh, we were rusty in Canada. Oh, no. If you're good enough, you're gonna do it. You're gonna play baseball. It's baseball. It's baseball, damn it. Play baseball. So, I think the Phillies need the time off to rest, to get some of their injured players better, and I think it's good. Plus, then they best of 5, I believe it is. they have at home. First series at home. So, and the Dodgers lost last night. Watch those San Diego Padres. I think I told you that. Watch these San Diego Padres. They're only 2 games behind the Dodgers in the West now. And coincidentally, they have 2 games to play in LA this week. Watch these Padres. They're surging. And you know, they've got Manny Machado. They've got some really good players in the team. And they're experienced too. So I want to put it past, even if the Dodgers win the West, then basically all they need to do is win 1-2 games this week. They wrap up the West. Even so, if the Padres get in as a wild card team, I wouldn't want to play them. I'd rather play the Braves or the Mets. Why? Because the Padres have experience. The Padres have a lot of good players, you know, and their pitching is good. Dylan Cease, and they have some really good pitchers. I wouldn't want to play the Padres. Francisco Tatis Jr. and Cronenwell, Worth. They got some good players out there. So anyway, watch out for San Diego. So Phillies need to win a game or two this week so they can get the top seeded National League, have home field advantage all the way through, have our crazy fans. Where I hope I get to go to the games this year, and it's going to help to get to the World Series. So we'll see what happens tonight. But I got to tell you what happened to me. Oh my God! You know, I need to pick myself up here. I'm dragging. All right, here's the thing. I'm at the Hot Stove group last night. We meet every couple of months. It's a bunch of old guys. We sit around and we talk baseball, and we eat, and we talk baseball, and we eat, and we talk baseball. It's about all we've got. There's a bunch of 134-year-old guys sitting around. And what else can we do? Right? And eat and talk baseball. So we're there talking baseball. And we have a guest. And last night the guest was a guy who wrote a book about the World Series. And he was good. So he was giving a little spiel and trying to sell his book. And he was talking about the series. He gave me a bunch of that's all. Well, what happened was my friend Lou, who runs the Hot Stove, big innings. Next month, the Hot Stove, guess who's coming to speak to us? Take a guess. No, it's not Willie Mays. He just died. None other than old Philly shortstop, Bobby Wide. Bobby Wide is coming to speak to our group October 22nd. In the flesh, be Wide. The great Bobby Wide. I think his average was something like 220. He was much of a room, but he was a hell of a fielder. Oh my God. He had a rifle arm, old number 7 at shortstop. Rifle arm. And his glove was the place where ground balls went to go. How poetic is that, huh? Bobby Wide was my favorite player when I was growing up as a kid. I don't know why. I just liked him. He was smooth, rangy. And he would get that ball in the hole and he would plant himself and he would throw that ball across the diamond, and he had a great, and I just liked it. Well, as it turned out, Bobby Wide lived in Audubon, Pennsylvania, which is only about 10 minutes away from me. So when I was a kid, when I was growing, I maybe was 8 years old, and I was a big baseball fan, big fan. I used to love Bobby Wide. So my dad knew this. My dad worked BF Goodrich, which was in nearby Oaks, PA. And he knew a guy who 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 knew Bobby Wine. So they made the connection. And all of a sudden, we get tickets to this Phillies game, old Connie Mack Stadium. And we're going into this stadium, and you could smell the peanuts and the hot dogs wafting through the air and the cigars, you know? And that's it was a time when people wore suits to the ball game, hats. And they were, and before though, yeah, when you parked your car in that neighborhood, you had to give the kid a quarter to watch your car, because if you didn't do it, you would come back and you wouldn't have any tires on your car. That was the neighborhood. 21st and Lehigh, I believe, in Philadelphia. Anyway, old Connie Mack Stadium. So here's the deal. I think it was a Sunday afternoon. It was a day game. And my dad carried me down the steps of the stadium. And we're going down. I'm like, oh my God, where are we sitting today? And down right next to the Phillies dugout, which was on the third base side. And we're sitting there. And all of a sudden, before the game, out in the dugout pops Bobby Wine himself. The Bobby Wine. And he has his white jersey on. It says Phillies, red cap, just like I have here. And he comes over to me. And he introduces himself, and I introduce myself. Hi, I'm Bobby Wine. Hi, I'm Greg. And I was shaking him. And I get to touch his glove. The glove, to me, the glove, Bobby Wine's glove, was just like touching Babe Ruth's bat. That was the equivalent for me. And, hey. So we talked, and I don't know if I said, root for me, Bobby. I don't know if I did that. But, and then it was my birthday one year, November 16th. Off season. Bobby White could have been doing anything. He could have been down the shore. He could have been in Jamaica. He could have been anywhere doing it. He deserves it. It's the off season. He could just lay around if he wants. No. What he did was he gave me a call. He called me on my birthday. And I still remember we had a phone in the living room on a landline. And I guess my dad answered the phone. He said, he's right here. Hold on. And this, Greg, it's for you. And I'm like, it is? Oh, Greggy. I had no clue. So I got the phone. And I'm like, hello? And, hi, Greg, this is Bobby Wine. And I'm like, hello? And I dropped the phone. And it was like, Bobby Wine. So I'm talking to him. He said, happy birthday. I'm almost peeing my pants. I'm really excited. So I said, yeah, it's birthday. I'm ready to have cake. What do you want? No, I didn't say. I said, it was really nice. I said, oh, gee, thank you, Bobby. Oh. So I said, blah, blah. See you in the summer. Get your tickets. Come on in and see us. Blah, blah, blah. That's back when the Phillies collapsed in 1964 and they broke our hearts. What were they? Up 6.5 games with only 12 to play or 10 to play? And they blew it. Anyway. But that's my memories of Bobby White. I have pictures. I'm going to show you pictures some other time. I'll have to dig them out of my closet if I can get past Coco's toys in his bed, because he has commandeered my closet. It's now his apartment. That's where Bud used to sit too sometimes. These dogs just take over the place. Anyway, so I'll get the pictures out and show you. So what I'm planning to do, listen to this. What I'm planning to do, October 22nd, all these old guys that are having heart attacks there. Bobby Wine. They're all going to be there. And so I'm going to take my pictures with me. And then I'm going to show Bobby. I'm going to say, you know what? You know what? Here we are, 60 years later. Think about this. No, seriously. This is something. I met this guy 60 freaking years ago. 60. Which is hard to believe since I'm only 21. No, 60 years ago. And here we are, reuniting. Reuniting, and it feels so good. Reunite 60 years ago, and here we are, right? And so maybe we'll bring his glove. I could kiss his glove. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to it. That's something to look forward to. And it isn't it something. The fact that we're still both kicking, we're still both around, and the fact that at one time we met and we talked 60 years ago, and here we are again. We're going to meet and we're going to talk, right? And it's going to be a good time because we're going to ask him, we're really going to pump this guy questions. What was it like back then? What was it like Glow Independent? No, I'll tell you what. Bobby White is 86 years old. God bless him. There's not that many ball players around from that era anymore. Look at Sandy Koufax. He's 88. And he's still Bobby White played against Sandy Koufax. That's what's going to be fascinating. Because you had all these old ball players. Sandy Koufax, Juan Marichal, Bob Gibson, all these old players that he played against. And he got to know in all these old stadiums he went to. And it's going to be pretty amazing to talk to this guy again. So I can't wait. That's going to be a lot of fun right there. I hope I make it till then. Anyway, I think I will. All right, well, that's the damn show for today, huh? And listen, I'm working on a classic TV show of the week. And I like the one I picked out here. Now, get this. I'm going to give you a little hint. I usually don't give you a hint about what shows we're going to talk about every week. I'm going to give you a hint. See if you can figure this out. This show was on in the 50s. It was on in the 60s. It was on in the 70s. And it was on in the 80s. What show is it? That's the show we're going to talk about. Probably tomorrow. I'm going to do 2 shows tomorrow. My regular show. And then I'm going to do the big classic TV week show. And that's when we're all going to find out the big reveal, what show we're going to talk about. Huh? It's going to be exciting. Like I said, my kidneys and my bladder can't take it. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Huh? Peace and love to you. Go Phillies tonight. We really need these Phillies to buckle down and win a couple games before the end of the week. Huh? It's going to pay off. Can you believe it? The playoffs start next week. My God, what's going on here? Time is flashing by. The playoffs start next week. And don't forget, at the end of this week, we're going to talk football. We're going to talk Eagles football. We're going to talk about the big game coming up Sunday. The Eagles are going down to Florida to face Tampa Bay. Now, they're having a hurricane down there. I think the hurricane is hitting Thursday night into Friday. And but they said it's going to be gone by the time the football game kicks off. 1:00 on Sunday. So let's hope so. But Philly's going to, Eagles. Eagles going down. Tampa kick some butt, get a little revenge for last year in playoffs. Huh? And I'm going to give you my football pick of the week too. And I know you're going to want that. So, all right, everybody. Peace and love to you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you'll hit the subscribe button. I don't make any money. This is all for free. I like to do it. It's fun. And we all need a little laugh, a little joy in our lives. Get away from all that crap, the politics and all that. We need to smile and we need to have fun. And that's what I'm here for every day. Just to chit chat with you. So, everybody have a great day, huh? And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. See you then.